devil are we today? Welcome. I'm Justin. This is Critical Paint Studios. You know someone means business when they tie their hair back. So we are going to check our microphone once my hair's tied back. But we're edging today, just to keep the puns and things going. Just going to make sure the microphone is on. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Make sure. Yes, we are live. Check if we are also live over on YouTube. Come on, YouTube. Oh, how is everyone today? I have a bit of crap news that I will get to. Thanks, Tuesday. Says we're live. That's good enough for me. All right. So, you can probably even see some of the edging highlights that I've done already. Just certain angles to break up the badness. An ad break starting in just under a minute. Have to give me, I'm a bit slow moving this morning. I don't know what happened. I was in bed last night and I rolled over and was in an indescribable amount of pain. Lower back, hips area, and it hurt like hell. So I'll let everybody know also, because I haven't done so yet. Announcements. All right, there we go. Hey, welcome everybody. We've got an ad break in progress. Oh. And we're back. How is everyone this morning? Oh wow, that's a cool looking effect. We are edge highlighting today, and probably for the next several years. It's I think I'm about a third of the way through. Working on this front paneling here. I've done this section and this section already. I think I've done the back as well. Yep, I've done the back as well. So we've still got this section of the vehicle to go. So no point delaying the inevitable. Let's rip off the bandage, as it were. So let's have a look and see where we're at. As you can see, I've done quite a bit of the edge highlights already. Just going through and finishing off the rest of those. I've done a lot of the aging and stuff already also on this tank. So we're coming down to the wire. We're getting to the final stages. I had some unfortunate news yesterday. As you know, I'm currently down a printer, and I'm looking at, well, I've bought myself a Anycubic Cobra S1 Max combo, which has the auto filament multi-filament system, so I can either have lots of filaments on the go or have lots of the same filament with a support structure for when I do big jobs, because printing in PLA is very sticky to itself, and the supports generally stick to each other. But I found if you print in PLA, or if you print in PETG, and then have your supports in PLA, they don't stick to each other, and you can get nice buttery smooth prints or support areas, structures. So that's what I'm going to be doing. It's a 4 base system, so I'm going to have 3 PETG, 1 PLA. So I don't use supports. Well, the supports aren't a lot, so that's going to be that side of it. But Anycubic currently having supply chain issues, so my printer that says it was going to be here by the 20th, so what's today, the 14th, within the next 6 days, is now, stock isn't arriving in the country until hang on, I just need to friend of mine, one of our moderators, has just asked if I'm okay. My warped sense of humor. I sent a message, going live message. asking for assistance during this difficult time, but I'm getting to that. So, yeah. So the printer is now delayed arriving into the country until the end of the month, and then stock will be shipped out in order of people who ordered them from there. So that's annoying, extremely annoying, and is going to definitely hinder my plans, because I needed to print something out urgently so I can finish off Amanita Shaman. But now I can't do that, and I'm having to get someone to print that for me, which is going to cost money, because why the hell not? And yeah, then I need to work a little bit harder, and hopefully this other commission doesn't come back to me and go, hey, I'm ready for that commission now. Oh, that's great. I don't have a printer as yet. That, and I found out one of my favorite actors died yesterday. New Zealand actor Sam Neill, which I was pretty bummed about, actually, because he just finished. Well, he just sort of had a good comeback from a bad bout of cancer, and to celebrate, he said, I think I might do another movie. But yeah, he's dead. Which is a little bit unsettling, but yeah, he will be missed. Hey, Weasel, how you going? Thank you very much for the hydrate. So yeah, I spent yesterday after stream cleaning up the area where my printer was apparently going to be going, but now I have to wait for the end of the month until I can see whether I'm actually going to get a printer or not. And they said, oh, we're really sorry. Here's 10% off resin and filament. I'm like, that's great. If I had a printer to print it on. But yeah, it sucks. And my things are happening. Crap is happening left, right, and center. And not necessarily good crap. The whole unprecedented times shenanigans again. I don't know about you, but I'm sick and tired of unprecedented times. So yeah, my printer's not getting here now until way later than it said it was going to be. So that puts my entire schedule behind, and hopefully it doesn't cut into my competition times. This is true, but the fire is getting bigger. at an exponential rate. We're going to have to get another band to do another sequel. I know Fallout Boy did one recently, but yeah, crap's going hardcore. At least we'll be. Yeah. What's the old saying? You'll die, but you'll be warm the rest of your life. So now, so I can get Amanita Shaman done, I've got a friend of mine printing out the bit that I need. This is true. This is true. Warm and dead doesn't count. I've been warm and dead for quite a while now. No, I tell a lie. My thermostat's absolutely screwed. I'm pretty much cold all the time. And if I'm not cold, I'm overheating. Yay! Nerve issues. Anyway, how you been, Weasel? I will hydrate. It's just edge highlighting is a timely process. We're only dead on the inside. Might be a microwave thing. I am like a bag of microwave popcorn. But this is Rahma. Got company, but I was worried. Yeah. There's crap happening. One of my Discord mods is concerned over my message. But that's alright. I've explained myself. I think there's a video where someone calls a microwave, yes. Nigella Lawson. Is who you are thinking of, I believe. She's a English chef with a rather large endowment. Has a tendency of completely and utterly butchering the English language. Knew the video existed but never knew who it was. I am a wealth of useless information. Really good at trivia games. Except when people, the quiz masters, don't do their research correctly and get the answers wrong. And then try and argue with me. Then I get shirty. But the answer in the book says, how old's the book? 20 years old? Yep, that's why. That answer is wrong. Do your goddamn research. Or don't do quizzes. Simple as that. I do not abide fools, Mr. Baggins. Someone in one of my in one of the Facebook groups I'm in, I think Miniature Painting Noobs. Yes, I'm in Miniature Painting Noobs, but I'm there to offer assistance and advice. Was asking for brush recommendations, and everyone's like, expensive brushes, Winsor and Newton and Raphael and Artist Opus and all this crap. And I'm like, no. I think the Scottish call it poppity ping, but I'm not a Scot, so I can't confirm. What, microwave popcorn? Poppity ping? I'm so calling it poppity ping from now on. I'll have to talk to my uncle. I don't even know if my uncle's still alive. That's how good of a family member I am. My family drops off like bloody apples on a tree. And I have no idea if they're still around or not. So I'm using the edge highlighting also on this to be a bit rough, because that will also give us a bit of wear and tear. So as you can see, starting to look a bit beaten and worn in spots. But yeah, this person was asking about brushes. So I recommended that they're not a great painter, but they're sort of still using synthetics. I'm like, yeah, you need to. Everyone's like, Artist Opus and all these other bits and pieces and expensive garbage. No, you don't want any of those. Good way to waste money and destroy paintbrushes. Get yourself some golden maples. Here's a link to the video review I did. Learning Scottish for a bit and got a 270-day streak on Duolingo. Stopped because of a lot of people I spoke to said the language is not well known in the country to render it useful, so I stopped. Well, Gaelic or actual like Highland Scottish. I used to know a bit of Gaelic, but yeah, it's Gaelic is probably the more prominent of the two, not necessarily in Scotland, just sort of in Ireland, where the other part of my family's from. Scottish Gaelic, yeah. By the way, I have fine stressed with uni work, but fine. Oh, what are you studying at uni, mate? Oh, nice. That's handy. At least something's working. There's Irish Gaelic as well. Had the option. Yeah, I unfortunately know smatterings of various languages. I can follow a conversation in Dutch and know roughly what's going on. I'm very rusty with French and Italian. Knew a little bit of Japanese for a while. Yes, yes, yes. I have a diploma in that. Not university level, but trade school level. I needed, well, I had the option of studying it while I was getting papers for networking and cybersecurity, so I could work in schools. And then I stopped working in schools. But then I started working for government. Then that can be called stalking. Don't understand the lick of it though. It's Yeah, Dutch is a very interesting um, and rhythmic language, I found. Um, it's yeah. Uh, so during my weathering and stuff, we got oh yeah, English is a language, but it's a compound language. So it uses other languages to to exist. Um, because English is a conglomeratized language, it is almost a slang for several other languages, and it's only out of adoption by, at the time, the patriarchy, that it has become the dominant language. I feel sorry for those who learn it. Oh, that's nothing. That is nothing. Um, what was it? There was a test that if you could read this and pronounce each word correctly in context, you are in one of the top 5% of people who use and speak the English language. And yeah, even though I'm not eloquent, I was able to pass it. Which, as an Australian, I butcher stuff all the time. But then again, we come from a nation of a history of criminals. Now, with this, I am going to have to go over it afterwards because during the weathering process, the brush that I was using, it's not crim safe unless it's crim safe. Um, yeah, I'll have to go over this because there's some spots where on the weathering brushes and stuff, either um, hairs have come off or um, there's some grass, like scenic grass, grass tufts, things like that, that have made their way onto the model. So I'll have to go through and pick them all off. But we still need to do our muzzle burn on the guns. But yeah, my wife and son have been wanting a uh, treadmill. We had a treadmill, but it broke, started beeping. Wasn't really wanting to have to buy a treadmill. So we found one. We found one for cheap, an X, like someone bought it, had it for a month, and then, well, had it for 7 days, I think they said, and returned it, not wanting it. So we had that one lined up. We went on the weekend. Well, while I was at painting with the guild, they went and checked it out and got it all confirmed, and everything was cool. And again, we get home and we talk about it, and she says, "Yeah, I want to get it." And I'm like, "Okay, we can get it. That's cool." Ring back, and they've sold it already. They'd sold it when they went and looked at it. We just had a short segment last night that had a newbie military guy on some guns. I'm not sure what he was doing. Started firing and the whole thing. Yes, yes. I saw that. That was I'm not sure what country that was, but yeah, that was a Vulcan turret, and yeah, that could have ended very, very badly, very, very, very badly, because those things are metal storms. They spit bullets faster than Eminem spits rhymes. Someone should do a video of Rap God of that with Rap God playing in the background. Restream bot. Oh my god, greetings from Denmark. You also slapped kill markings on the barrel. It's really coming to life. Garrick's Chariot. It is. It's getting there. I'll do a quick spin around. We're working on the edge highlighting at the moment. And then once that's done, I'll go through. We got some rogue hairs and stuff that I need to pick off from weathering. And then we get stuck into muzzle burns on the las cannons, the main barrel needs a bit of love in that respect as well, and the exhausts. So we're almost finished. He says, doing 50 million edge highlights. But welcome aboard, Leo. Thank you very much for dropping in over on YouTube. Much appreciated. How are you today? Now it's breakfast time. Ah, nice. I had a banana. And I've got coffee. So enjoy your breakfast. What I wouldn't give for bacon, eggs, sausages, hash browns, pancakes. Unfortunately, I don't have any of the. Oh, I've got eggs. I don't have anything else, but yeah, I'm a bit miffed about the. It's very busy and still toned down. Nice. Ah, bacon. Oh, I'm coming around to your place, Weasel. Yeah, the hardest part about doing weathering and then edge highlighting this kind of metallic black is keeping the balance. And I find using like something like lead belcher to be very beneficial because it's naturally quite clunky as far as its medium and pigment is concerned. So it doesn't matter if it goes down a bit rough in spots because that's kind of what you're after. So it looks like wearing and tear scratches. And then you get kind of that effect, which looks cool. Well, I think it looks cool. And then we're going to use some inks to, oh, maybe contrast actually, and then finish off with inks on our muzzle burn and such. There's one of those hairs I was talking about. But usually go over with a set of tweezers. I'll do that off screen because it's a bit boring. So how is everyone out there in how is everyone out there in YouTube and Twitch land today? How's Denmark doing today, by the way, Leo? Wow. Yes, I even put the rivets on the bottom. A bit cold, cooler, but the air is still, so everything still sticks to you. Damn it. Where's that photo tech? On your elbow. Lol. So it's a bit warm over there at the moment, is it? Oh, are you guys part of that getting hit with that heat wave, are you? Oh. Dang, lots of messages here. Just bear with me. Facebook one. Okay. Bear with me. Is someone asking for recommendations on paintbrushes? They're looking to sort of move on from synthetics and get a decent brush. They asked for recommendations, and I gave my recommendations. Wow. Just asked about the new brushes that I've got, if they're any better. I think they will be. I haven't really had a chance to look at them yet. Almost done with the lining. Oh, hang on. What's going on here? My viewer just crapped out. I'm still streaming, aren't I? Come on. Oh, well, that's cool. Stream bot. Oh my god. Just changed everybody's color. Okay. It's yeah, what else has been going on in the world? Well, something must have happened. I do still have voice, don't I? Okay. Okay. Very, very nearly done now. It's the last little corner panel. And then we'll get stuck into some muzzle flashing. A lot of things in that. And starting in 2.5 minutes. A bit of coffee. Yeah. Where's that sepia? Where's my little tray? I'm not sure what that was. Didn't sound too friendly. So, muzzle flashing is a little bit of a fun one because it's essentially multiple layers. Oh, I've got those bits of either inks or contrast paints. Did I even do that? No, I didn't. Damn. Must have been where I stopped last night. How are we doing? Hey, Chetsy. I'm not seeing. Oh, there it is. There's a delay on Twitch this morning. I'm getting sounds, but no notifications. Yeah, we're sort of plugging away. We're just about to kick over into muzzle burn. I just needed to do this turret because I forgot it. It could be my horrible internet. I'm in a coal. You're in a what? You're in a coal mine. Is that what you do? Ah, well, there you go. And so yeah, I've been edge highlighting. I spent most of last night getting it all up to where we are now. What mine are you at? I don't know of very many mines as such. Are you sort of out west somewhere? Bowen Basin. Oh, okay. Oh, that's cool. That's how's that looking? We'll turn around. Yeah, muzzle burn, muzzle burn, muzzle burn, muzzle burn. Just saying, muzzle burn is a bit of a fun one because you've got to balance the different stages of it, and if you don't do it correctly, it just looks stupid. So it involves first laying down some Seraphim sepia, just to give that heat scoring look. Or any equivalent sepia will work. I didn't put that light on. Hang on. We have some automation stuff set up in the house for like downstairs in the daycare area. We've got an auto vacuum. And my wife just said, sort of do the dry the floors, which is a prompt to get our automatic mop out. but it said, okay, turning on all 4 lights. So I turned on all the lights, and one of those lights is my on-air light, which should be on anyway, I must admit. It's when my office door is closed when I do morning streams. I don't normally turn it on. So yeah, my streaming light came on, and I'm like, what the hell? So we'll let this go a bit more tacky. It's going to need a bit more. So I'm just going to dry it out with a hairdryer, actually. I'll be right back. So we can do our second coat. I'm very excited to pick these up. Well, I hope they turn heads at the tournament that you're going to. I'll give you some business cards as well. If I win Best Painted Army, I'll drop off the reward to you. Technically, you're not allowed to do that. I know from previous folks, if you haven't painted it, technically you're not allowed to enter it. Unless it's like a different level. Oh, Shadow Spartan, thank you very much for the follow. I'm not sure how your particular tourney works, but yeah, most of the time, sort of Warhammer-based stuff, especially, like Armies on Parade and things like that, if you don't paint it, they will generally automatic thing. The organizer just goes, oh, okay, cool. There was a bit of controversy a few years ago, back in 2017, with Golden Demon. The first and last time Golden Demon came to Australia was mired in controversy because somebody won a Golden Demon or best in show sort of thing, like an actual Golden Demon. And they had to strip him of the trophy because somebody else painted it. He got a commission painter to paint it, and then he entered it into Golden Demon himself. or something along that line. Yeah, no. And subsequently, Golden Demon hasn't been in Australia ever since. I've been striving and striving to get it back. And I'm not the only one. Other miniature painters are out there desperately trying to get it back because it's just too far to travel to Adepticon and bits and pieces in the US. Okay. So that's dark enough for this step. Now I just need to check and see which step is next. Is it the blue or the yellow? I mean, not the yellow. Muzzle flash. I never remember the order. Blue, then purple. Right. So for the blue step, this is where the contrast comes into play. Just grab a bit more coffee. Because the purples that I have are very muted in my contrast paint, we're going to be doing the contrast in blue, and then we're going to be doing the purple in ink, because I've got a very vibrant ink here. But first, I need to dry this out completely, so I'll be right back, muting the microphone. Back shortly. Turned. So just contrast paint's the only reason I can never attempt to paint infantry. Yeah, with a good like slap top or zenithal, contrast paints are a very valid way of painting. I use them not for their purpose. I use them as tints and filters. I don't use them as contrast paints are meant to be used. Makes them go a lot further for me. It's all about finding tools that work. So, yeah. Actually drops them back a bit on that one, so we'll do it that way. Now, I normally like to drop in a blue wash as well, just to mute the blue down a bit. We'll see how we go. We'll see how this dries. See if we need to do that. and they usually tone it all back down, but we want these barrels to look fairly vibrant. So we'll start off at the back here. And go back to our CPR. Just go over that first edge again. Just really darken it down so we can get a nice transition between the brown and the blue. Because it's a contrast also, it will sort of thin down the blue. Now we can pop our purple behind. Now I'm going to do it in 2 stages because we want a muted purple to go from the blue, and then from the muted purple we'll go into our more vibrant purple. So for this next step we're going to be using Magos purple, a very violet sort of purple. And this will be our transitioning. So we start on the blue, bring this in, and this will give us a tempered look. Further back on that. So it won't look like much on the first coat. Do another coat of this. This one's a contrast. Then we'll do our ink. This isn't as vibrant as the ink that I have. In the artwork that you've supplied from Fantasy, the muzzle burn is quite vibrant, and they've done that by filtering in an airbrush ink at the end. And we'll do the same. And then we'll do a bit of a dry brush in black. Yeah, no problem. Stay safe out there. As always, I'll send you photos after stream. So, welcome out there. I'm Justin. This is Critical Paint Studios. And we are muzzle burning, muzzle flashing. Now, ink. Ad starts in just under 3 minutes. It's dry. Then we get our vibrant ink. Gonna need a piece of paper for this step. Son of a bitch. Oh. Oh, shoot. That ain't good. That ain't good at all. All right, we've just had a bit of a major accident here. Bear with me. Okay. I'm gonna have to go on a quick break for a moment, because we've just had a massive, massive, massive ink spill. So I've got ink all over me and all over my desk. I think I've just lost a $30-odd bottle of ink, which is not ideal. Which also sucks because I need it right now. Let me just... All right, I'm gonna be back. I'm just gonna go on break for a moment and sort this crap out. I'll be back shortly. Okay. All right, we're back. Sorry about that. Ah. How bad did this get hit? Oh, luckily not at all. Oh. All right. All right. Um. Uh. Unfortunately, that was a very vibrant ink. I'm hoping that because I've taken those clothes, sprayed them, then thrown them in the bathtub, had water in it. That will fix. Hopefully, hopefully. That will fix will not stain. Damn, I lost nearly all of that bottle. I have to buy another one of them. Which sucks, because that takes time to get back. Hopefully I've got enough to get through what I need to do today. Right. I just need to get my thinner. Airbrush thinner. There we go. Ever have one of those days where you just don't, like, you probably shouldn't get out of bed? I think I'm having one of those. Ah. Right. And then we will need to black the ends. Do the same with some blue. Just got one all over. Of course I did. So, yes, had a great morning. We had a massive spill of ink, which is subsequently all over me, all over my hoodie, all over my pants. All over the floor, all over the bin, all over the table, all over my hands. So, welcome everybody. Hope you're all doing better than I am today. It's definitely been a day. That's for damn sure. There's my brush. There's my brush. There's my sepia. Do one more pass of the sepia on the front of these barrels. We dry this out first, actually. 2 seconds. I'll be right back. Alright, that should be enough. Oh boy. Across the very tips of everything, just do a quick little dry brush. And we'll finish off that edge highlighting. Hey, LT Daverish, thank you very much for the follow. How are you today? I'm going from disaster to disaster at this stage. I would say it's been a comedy of errors, except it hasn't been funny in the slightest. It's been rather depressing, actually. I've had a massive bout of ink failure. I had my AK Interactive purple ink, one of my prized possessions. The lid wasn't on properly, so it exploded all over me. You can see by my purple tinged hands, all over the desk, all over like my clothing. I've changed clothing. My jeans and my hoodie were adversely affected. It went straight through onto my leg, so one of my legs has now got a lovely tinge of purple to it. It's yeah, it's been a day. It's been a day and it hasn't even started yet. So we're just going to touch in. Now I've got some straight black ink. Yeah. Given the week I've had, considering it's only Tuesday here, yeah, I'm not having fun. I've also been like well, as you can see, we're saving for just got to Tuesday here, and I hope your Tuesday's going better than mine. I get a lot of people from Europe actually. We had Leo from, I think, Norway as well. Um, um, yeah, my main printer, my FDM printer, died a horrible, painful death the other day. So I ordered a new printer. Oh, hello, Art from Italy. Oh, I think you're my first chatter from Italy, so welcome. I was saying my main printer died, so I'm saving money to try and get to Crimson Brush, which is a national painting competition here in Australia. And I'd had quite a bit of money saved. Things were progressing well. Had $2,500 saved. Then my printer died, which I need desperately because I need to print a part for a laser etcher. So I can then use my laser etcher. So I can then finish off one of my competition pieces. Now the competition starts sort of middle of August, which is in 5 weeks, just under 5 weeks. And I need to do a laser etch on part of that to finish it off so it's ready for competition. So thankfully a friend of mine is going to print out part for me, but I'm also making my own painting handle to help with people, or to help people with arthritis and mobility issues in their hands. And I'm prototyping and testing at the moment. And I was printing out parts for that when my printer died. So yeah, we've kind of had to stop that until I can get a new printer sorted. I bought a printer. I bought the Anycubic Cobra S1 Max combo because it fit the bill, and I'd had some good recommendations from people about it. So I ordered that, and it was supposed to, according to the work docket, it was supposed to be delivered by the 20th, so within the next 6 days, which would have been perfect. It would have put me back on track and everything was good. I checked looking for an update on this, and got in touch with a person, and that person then proceeded to tell me that stock for said printer, in Australia at the very least, wasn't going to be arriving until the end of the month. Which I was a little bit concerned about. Love to see painting and learning from it. Well, if you've got any questions about anything at all, layout, please ask, because that's what I'm here for. I'm here. Well, I'm here to paint, but I'm also here to teach. So I'll help out in any way I can. And I'll do it for free, unlike a lot of other miniature painters. Hello, Adrian's Brush. How are you? Hope you're doing well. But apart from picking off the hairs and bits and pieces, we're done. I think any tool in your arsenal is an asset. I have absolutely no problem with anything. Slap chop is essentially zenithal priming. Zenithal priming is slap chop. And don't let anybody tell you any different. It's just the method in which you apply it. So, as an example, slap chop is building up contrast, tone, and shadow using, man, my hands are purple, using a white or varying shades from black to white. That's exactly the same as zenithal, except you do it via an airbrush. So I'll show you this one, actually. So I do zenithal priming on models. So I start off with a black miniature, and then I angle going through grey up to white, which gives you all of your light and helps you control your light sourcing. Slap chop is an asset as far as I'm concerned. And now my lip's bleeding. It's been a day. Wow, that feels like it's really bleeding. Hang on, I need to look at this. Oh yeah, it's bleeding. All right. Now, for example, this is just a black primed model. Jesus. This is one I use for doing demos and stuff. But slap chop is the same as that's not slowing down either. Slap chop is the idea behind slap chop is a quick and dirty way to build up highlighting, which is exactly what zenithal priming is. Now, for slap chop, you would then use, or you can use anything. You can use contrast paints, you can use inks, you can use normal paints, and it will do the same thing. Forgive this, my mouth is bleeding, and hopefully it stopped. We'll see how we go. It's designed to build a quick light source. That light source can be pointed, it can be ambient, it can be any number of things. When you use slap chop, contrast paints, contrast mediums, contrasting like your Army Painter Fanatic series, your what are they called? The Scale 75 instant range. These are all tools used for, well, used alongside with slap chop and zenithal to build up tone. Contrasting paints from Citadel. So this is one I was using earlier. Are a little bit thicker in their medium. So the way the medium dries is as it's drying, it will build up in areas, so you will get more of a tonal shift between. And when you've got a good zenithal, you'll have that white effect. Scumbling. No, it's actually called Grisali. It's a the term itself was has originated since or originated during the Renaissance. Scumbling is another way to call it. It goes by many names. It's for an artist learning how to distribute tone and light. I will never call it slap chop. I call it Grisali or zenithal. It's the same thing. Like it's a rose by any other name. Using your contrast paints and bits and pieces, even though you're not, how do I word this without sounding elitist? Even though you're not using color theory, it's teaching you color theory just by looking at it. So when you build up tone and light and shadow and stuff using the zenithal method or the Grisali method, just make it sound elitist. No, I don't do that. You know me, Mr. Pigments. As an example, this model here, this is a model that I've done. And to start said model, it wasn't slap chop, it was zenithal, but same diff, different name. I used zenithal on this to find out where my light source is going to be and force perspective of light. Make it sound elitist, it's funnier. I know. So as you can see on the back here, when I did my original zenithal prime on this, I wanted my light sourcing from this angle. And from this angle, the light falls in a gradient across here. This is the highest point of this mushroom, but this is the point that's mostly in the light. So it pulls through, and you can see where our shadows come in. Now, the coloring, I applied the same amount of color across the model, but because we used that zenithal, that undertone of things helped bring out different tonal inflections of the color as we were painting. I did this wholly in the Chimera Velvet inks, which are a very, 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 very thin paint. They're not an ink. They don't act, they sort of act like an ink, but they act more like a paint. They're kind of in between. But as you can see throughout the top of the hat here, where we've got all this beautiful shading, all of that shading was done in the initial phase when I primed the model. So slap chop is fine. I have no problems with it whatsoever. I have no problems with zenithal priming. Any tool that you have to make your finished product look the way you want is a valuable asset. Like on stuff like this, slap chop doesn't really work because of the size of it. Yes, and anyone who tells you otherwise, anyone who looks down on you for saying, "Oh no, slap chop is a crap way of painting," they're full of garbage. Like it's. I've been painting for 10 years. I use zenithal. I I don't use slap chop because I don't have good dry brushes to be able to benefit the use of slap chop. But having said that, there's some models that I don't do it on. Like when I'm, say, for instance, when I'm building up a skin tone on a model, and I'm when I'm teaching a skin tone for a model, I don't use slap chop because it's not beneficial to the teaching. It doesn't enhance the overall effect. It doesn't do anything at all because of the way I build skin tone. And that's a completely different side of things. Like all of my competition pieces, when I'm starting them, I build them up with that zenithal prime. If you give me 2 seconds, I will get 3, 4 good examples. I'll be right back. Okay. See there. See there. See there. Now, this is a piece, well, this is a piece that, these are all pieces that I'm hoping to do for competition. But this is from a sculptor called Nerixon. And this is a perfect example of how light can be used to an advantage to build up the tone of a model. So I'll move that over there, you over there, so I can get you more in shot. So as you can see, this model was primed black, and then I went through and did the zenithal priming with white because I wanted that starkness in the light. As you can see, she's reaching towards the heavens, and we've got all the badness happening down here, and all these demon type creatures coming after her. I wanted the focus to pull down the model, so I'm using my highest highlights to create a focal point. So that will then pull down through the model. Because I've got elements in the model that are a little bit more lit, sort of these sort of 4 figures underneath, that then lends us, that arm has come completely, oh no, that's her leg. This was done with an airbrush, but you can do this with a dry brush as well. The secret to doing a good slap chop technique with a brush is, and the reason I don't do it because I don't have the brushes, is the dry brush that you use. So this particular one is a boar hair bristle. It's very tough. Something like goat's hair is really good. This is a makeup brush. Actually, let's do slap chop. Let's do some right now. Let me just get these out of the way, so I'm not going to flick paint on them. Here's another one that is zenithal primed, but the concept is the same. And here's another one which is multi-stage zenithal prime. As you can see, the definition and everything is a lot smoother. That's gone from a black up through various tones of grey, right up to a white at the top there. This is Lancelot from Spirabilis. And then there is Goblin City, which was also zenithal primed. Now, as I said, the reason I don't do zenithal priming myself is because I've got airbrushes and I'm good at them. But who are we doing on? We'll do it on this one. So this is just an academic bust that I've gotten from a painting course that I was doing. It's just a nice little elven figure. So we're going to slap chop. And the first step we want to do is a white. Let me get something that I can put some white in. Now, I use white ink. You don't have to use white ink. You can use white paint, but I find white ink works better because it's thinner. And the pigment is finer. Let me just make sure that's all mixed. Now, this is a mix of white ink that I've made from Liquitex Bold Titanium White that I have thinned the absolute crap out of. So normally with slap chop, you could mix in greys and blacks. Or you start off with black, and then you build up to greys for your first step, which we'll do. We'll do it from the get-go. So we'll do 2 different steps here. Now, the really cool thing about slap chop also is you don't have to use black and white and the colors in between on that. It can be done quite happily with any color on the spectrum. Obviously, color theory comes into play. So you're going to be doing complementary colors or opposite colors or triadic colors. Which will give you a better effect. Just need to mix this in. So as you can see there, we've got a slate grey and our white. So the secret is a fine head, damp brush. You want to get as much of the excess water off as you can. So we start off. This is going to take a while to build up because this is quite thin. I generally like to have my paints quite thin. With the first layer, we almost want to cover all of it. Let's try that out. So, very subtle difference. You can probably not make it out on camera because the dry brush is quite wet still. Another layer. Dry again. So it's starting to change color now. Now this is going to be our mid-level tone. You just want to apply it fairly liberally on the downward stroke. That way it will hit all your middle areas and leave your shadows intact. This will help you achieve a smoother transition in your color, well, in your highlights and shadows. Get some more of that because I have plowed through that because I've got such a big brush happening. So the white is not acrylic paint. It is acrylic paint, but it's thinned down to an ink consistency. And this will help stop chalky buildup across your model. So as you can see, that grey is really starting to come to light now. Doing it on the downward motion, we're still preserving all of our shadows. I think one of the biggest steps or missteps that people do is using white paint. White paint is quite heavy in its pigment. I'll just dry this off. And because of that, you get a chalky build-up and a residue that when you then paint over makes your paint look chalky. So we want to get that slate grey look across the entirety of everything, except for those deep shaded and hard to reach areas. So as you can see, that's very grey now. I just used, to make this grey, I used black ink. You can use... I prefer to use inks doing slap chop because it makes the overall finish smoother. So now we have a nice grey finish. We'll get stuck into our white. Now, because I'm using the same brush, we've still got some of that grey on there. But you'll see this will then make our grey a bit lighter. Let me just spin this around here. So I'll dry this out, I'll be right back. So that's our first pass. As you can see, we've sort of started to pick up those high areas across the model. Do one more with that mix of white and grey. Now, there is a little thing you can do with Slap Chop to push your highlights even further. Good morning. We're doing a quick course in Slap Chop, or the priming element of Slap Chop. So I'll dry that out. Okay. Can you hear me now? Okay. Can you hear me now? Right. Okay. As I was saying, now we'll go in with flat white. Lots and lots of lots and lots of issues today. So yeah, the important part about the white is downward strokes only, because it's essentially going to be our light source. Um, because of the way I'm doing the lighting aspect. So with the white, it's the starkness of our light. And if I do directly from above, it will give us the most dynamic shadows across our model. Now, we'll still need to do another coat, but I'll dry this off. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so that's our first pass of white. You would get white in the shadows, yes, which can benefit if you're doing other styles of lighting. So it's all about where you want your light to come from. So the white is going to be the direction in which the light comes. You could just as easily do this as a diagonal light source. But think of the brush and the direction that the brush is going as the direction that you want the light to fall across your model. Hope mishaps stay. Going forward, going to bed, no problem. What is always happening to me is the colors on the black shadow areas look really dull. We'll get to that. So we'll do one more. Of our whites, and I'll show you how to fix those shadows. Good night, Davrish. Yes, thank you for hanging out. And yeah, hopefully nothing goes wrong. Nothing else goes wrong. So while I take a little bit more time on the slap chop side of things, its benefit overall is a lot better. So I'll just dry this out. I'll be right back. Okay. One last pass, and then we'll get stuck into those shadows. Now, Layart, do you have an airbrush? Because you can combine these two elements very well. So I'll dry this out one last time. don't be scared of breaking your airbrush. Airbrushes are quite resilient and they can be cleaned. So, just with a brush, we've been able to, like, we can still see sort of the transitions of our shadows. They're a bit more pronounced under the cuff here, as you can see, but we've got sort of this nice gradient starting in the back. You can continue to refine this, but that's essentially slap chop with inks. I find inks a lot better because they don't have that chalky buildup. If you do damp your dry brush first before you apply the paint, that can also help. But the pigment in paints is still quite heavy, so I use inks in this step. Now, for your shadows, the main thing to remember with shadows is black is not the darkest color you have at your disposal. Oh yeah, when you, I'll wash this out and make it really wet. Black is not the darkest color you have. Black is the absence of color, but it is not the darkest it can be. So, as an example, let's try this brush out. So, damp your dry brush down to the point where rubbing it back and forwards on your skin multiple times starts to cool your skin. So you'll feel a slight dampness. That's a perfect consistency for a dry brush when you're doing slap chop. Then the reason for this, when you put your paint on dry bristles, they tend to want to stay on the bristles. When you prime your brush, which is what we just did with the water, it distributes the paint evenly down the brush hair, which then allows the paint to come off the brush hair in that even distribution, where it's not grabbing and trying to stick to the dry hairs of the brush. Paints will stick to dry things more than they will to wet things, as we know from if you water down your paint too far, you'll get the blistering effect happening. That's why we wet our normal brushes when we're painting as well, so the paint comes off the brush easier. Now, enhancing shadows. So, we have our black shadows, as you can see. Yes, black shadows. That's great. That's all well and good. Black is one of those colors that doesn't read well at distance. If you mix in, depending on the tone you want to go with, say something like this, I would probably go with a blue or a purple or a magenta tone underneath, and that will enhance the shadows. So you mix that with black. So you've got your black. For every drop of black, you would put a drop of another color. Counterproductive putting brighter colors, or you would think it's counterproductive putting brighter colors in a black because it will muddy down your black. Not the case. When the black dries, it will show a lot better. Now, because you said you are scared of using the airbrush, we won't use the airbrush in this instance. I'm going to get the last soft brush that I have, soft dry brush, I should say, and remove that hair because that's going to be problematic. This is one from an old Kickstarter that I backed ages ago. So we're going to do magenta and black, just so we get a bit of a rich tone happening across our model. So 1 drop of magenta. We'll start off with 1 drop of magenta and 1 drop of black. I have a few airbrushes. Ones I've had forever and a day, and a new one I picked up recently. So we're going to need more black there, because I forgot how intense this magenta ink is. Now I've gone too far. Oh, or have I? No, that's dark enough. That's cool. All right. So now we're going to do the opposite of what we just did. Go from the underside of our model, just very lightly. Start to build up an undertone across things. Now, I'm not suggesting you do it this way. I'm doing it a bit backwards. You would do this in your priming phase. So after you've primed it black, you would then go through and then hit it with the black ink with your secondary shading color. So this is going to look a bit stupid, but it'll get the point. Then we'll do the last. We might have to go through and do a touch up. But this is more so to catch those undertones, so you can just see what I mean. So we've just roughly done that, and now we'll go back in with our white because we did it out of order. I'm using AK acrylic for the white. Okay. AK is quite thick. Get yourself a white ink, like Liquitex or Winsor & Newton white is a nice one as well. The AK ink white is also quite vibrant. I find Liquitex, Winsor & Newton, Pro Acryl Bold Titanium White as a white paint is the best on the market. I'll just dry this off. Just to make sure we've established our whites correctly. Now I'm doing the magenta because it is quite subtle when applied like this, but it's still visible. Yeah. Test on a spring, yeah. Or get yourself a dry palette. So a dry palette is very beneficial as well. Or a texture palette, they're called. Many different companies have them. That particular one that I just showed then is from a company called Kadrufi, which do the portable paint system, which I love to bits. It is one of the best tools I've ever owned. And I'll be giving one away when I get my stocks in. So now that we've done this, we'll just dry it out so it's all dry and matte. Okay, so I'll bring it up close to the camera. So you can see underneath here we've still got elements of that magenta across the shading of the model. This is rough. This is very rough. I haven't refined this at all, but it enhances the shadows. Ooh, we may have a rental to move into soon, waiting for the owners to see you. Fingers and toes crossed. Well, I'll cross mine for you as well. Best of luck. But you can see our shadowing is a little bit deeper because of that added color. So under the breastplates here and under our chin and under here. Need all the luck we can get. Yeah, I know the feeling. So you can see that we've got those subtle magenta transitions in our shadowing as it moves up the model. But if you sort of do your priming, you do your prime first in black, then you can go over it with an ink. That's good. That was the plan. Then you can go over that black prime with your ink, so you don't have to mix the two together. Do it very, very lightly. This is where an airbrush is really, really good. Actually, let's do one via the airbrush now. Do the same thing. So This is our slap chop. Do this one. Dust her off. Contrast similar. No. No. Inks are... They use the same amount of pigment, but the medium is very different. Inks generally tend to have a lot thinner, more runny consistency that doesn't have a binding agent in it. Contrast inks or contrast paints like the Citadel range and the Scale 75 range have a binder in their medium. So as an example, if you were to mix, if Mr. Pigments is still around, he can help me out on this. It is recorded. All of my stuff is recorded for 30 days. So you can come back to this. And what I'm going to do with this, because of how we've explained it, I'm going to make a video for YouTube as well. I'll go back through and edit and cut so we get all the important details. But yes, it will be available on YouTube and it will stay on Twitch for 30 days. So our next step is doing this via an airbrush. So this is a primed black model. This is another academic bust. As you can see, standard matte black prime. And as I said earlier, this is what I'm here for. This is why I do what I do. We shall use the Mobius. It's still got a bit of remnant in it. Now we're going to use the magenta again, so we can see the similarities between the two, and we'll do it in the right order this time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 should be enough. Put the lid so we don't have an accident like we did last time. So we have our black model from the underside angles. I'm just going to do it out of shot so I don't... Actually, I'll move the tank completely. Right order is a bonus, exactly. So I'm just going to shoot in now our magenta. Now I do this as a hammer-on effect because you don't want to do too much. You just want to catch the undersides. This will cause our model to read tonally different. So you can probably barely see that. A bit heavier in the recessed sections. So you can see the, there we go. If I catch it in the light, you can see the magenta and the black. So our next step is to start building our tone. Now, this is where I believe airbrushes are far superior to the slap chop brush technique. So don't be scared of your airbrush. We're going over time, but that's fine. So because that matte ink dries a bit different. I'm going to use this ink. So we have our magenta. Now we're going to start doing greys. So building up through our greys until we get to white. Okay. So the secret to a good zenithal is angles. So I've just mixed a sort of a little bit lighter than the slate grey. Now, with slap chop, everything pushes down. With zenithal, everything is angles. So we go in at a right angle with our grey. It won't cover the whole of our shadows. But it will cover them. It will cover the mid-range features. So, fairly subtle. And then we build it up. And you can control your lighting a lot more as well with the Zenithal Prime. So we've got our first step, and then I'll show it over here. So that's the angle we came in on it then. Now we move up about 10 degrees. We start from the top. That's where our light source is. Well, in this instance. So that's our next level. Then adding more white to our mix. Doing about 6 drops per level. So first level, second level, third level. You can already see that transition. Very, very smooth. And then this is where the fun happens. So you can manipulate where your light is going to be on our last levels. So we have what appears to be plate armor that she's wearing under her face. You can see that beautiful shadow transition in the face there. We want the face to be the focal point, and we want our light sourcing. We'll do our light sourcing from probably like a 30-ish degree angle, but we're coming in a lot higher, so we're almost going directly down from the top, just to establish our final ambient light. Which you can see there. And then, because we're using armor, we can add in some extra highlighting in spots, and we can also pull the focal point of our face. So if I dry that out now, close to the camera, you can see the focus is on her face with the secondary focus on the armor that we've given those highlights to. Now, that is a standard zenithal prime. You can then push that even further again by incorporating some of the elements of Slapchop into it. And this is where things get cool. So I've just gotten some straight white ink now. We're going to start blocking in just some starker elements. Oh, it's almost 2 a.m. Well, I will record this video and pop it up on my YouTube channel. So make sure to give my YouTube a follow, Critical Pain Studios. And hopefully I'll see you again. Thank you for stopping by. And I hope this helped out. See you next time, Leia. I'm going to continue on with this because footage is recording. So it's just a matter of going through and sharpening up. Some of our highest highlights. Well, we've still got a few people watching. There's still 5 people on channel, so I'm not sure how many are over on YouTube, but yeah, we'll be posting this over there, and the VOD will be up for 30 days here on Twitch. Didn't need my eyes. It's just pushing our highlights to create focal points. This also helps us plot out other elements as well. And there we have it. Smooth transitions. We've blocked in our light sources. Got a head start already on our color sketch because we've already established all of our shadows and highlights across the entirety of the model. And then you can enhance further, really push out where your lighting is going to be. You can even start to work in some hard surface lighting, so we can build up that starkness of our plate armor. There we go. And we've still got those elements of the magenta underneath as well, which enhance our shadows. There's a bit of splits there. I'll grab that off. Just from where the model's been sitting. I'll fix that up. There we go. And that is a Zenithal Prime. Compared to sort of the Slapchop Prime. So I like Zenithal. As you can see, I'm a lot better at Zenithal. For this reason. Just the smoothness of those transitions across the model. Whereas Slapchop is you can go in and do the same thing. So we'll go through and enhance this one. Just so it's up to the same. But this technique is originally called Grizzali, and it's been used since the Renaissance to help build realism and depth. Just building up a color sketch here of in black and white. And it's been used, yeah, as I was saying, since the Renaissance. Probably even earlier. This is what's known as an old master technique. So it's not a new thing. It's just got a new name. As with just about everything in art, it evolves over time. It's all about refinement. And as I said, it's not limited to black and white. You use colors which create an undertone over your model, which can help convey story, emotion, ambience, setting. Yes, it is a little bit more involved than slap chop, but it pays off. Just taking it a little step further. But it is a tool. That's all it is. And you can manipulate your lighting and shading in any way you want. You can really push your contrasting even before you've put a color on the model. Saying again, this is rough. It's all about just bringing it all back in very slowly. Manipulating your layers. And the transitions between them. It is not a tank. You are absolutely right. We are just doing a quick slap chop sketch. We did one zenithal priming with airbrush. We're also doing one via brush itself. Somebody asked a question. So, teachable moment. But yeah, a rough sketch using the slap chop technique and using zenithal prime technique. Same angle on the light source. But yeah, so now that those two are done, back to our regularly scheduled program so I can show off the tank before the end of stream, because I've gone over by about half an hour. Didn't mean to, but these things happen. Not a bad thing. Okay, so move this out of the way so we can bring our tanky friend back. Which I will be sealing. I'll stop in after work. Got the goods. Got the goods. What goods? What goods are we talking about? Oh, right. Yes. Thank you. They will come in very handy. But now it's a bit shiny in spots because I've got to dull it down with the sealer. But our tank is done. I need to go through and remove some hairs first because there's some rogue little bits and pieces that have popped in. But yeah, now I've just got 2 little commissars to do and then it's finished. Well, this commission's finished. Then I'm going to quickly finish off the bits that I need to do on Goblin City. And then I'll start work on your army. Svets. So, I think we'll call it a day there. Because I need to go have a shower because I'm absolutely covered head to toe in ink due to the earlier mishap. I'll get myself cleaned up. I'll seal this down. I'll take the good photo, or I'll start taking the good photos of it. And at this stage, what's today? Tuesday. I will see you all on Thursday evening at 5 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. So I hope you all have a wonderful day. Peace out.